First of all, as a person, as an individual that isn't doing well in your life, you have to assess yourself. What is going on in my life that I'm not getting the response that I want from women? Okay, well, what is it a man is supposed to have? Well, number one, a man is supposed to have good behavior, which means he should be respectful. He should know that when he's dealing with a woman, he's dealing with a weaker being. We accept that. We accept the fact that we are weaker beings. It don't matter how many muscles we have. It doesn't matter how many dildos in our closet we have. It doesn't matter how many vibrators we have. We are the weaker sex. So a man has to have his behavior in check and have the mindset that I don't want to physically hurt this woman. So next, a man is supposed to be educated, because in order for a man to be the head of a household, he has to be educated, and he has to know that being the head of a household is a huge responsibility. And this is something that a lot of black men don't know. Okay, so for example, I can just run down to you right now what it takes to run a household. First of all, in order to get a household, you have to have a job and some check stubs. Second, you have to have some good credit. And sometimes good credit is not always needed depending on what part of the world you're in. Depending on what type of job you have, depending on what your credit is looking like. Okay? So once you get the home, now you have to get utilities turned on. So sometimes you might have to, if you're renting an apartment, utilities might be paid. If they aren't, you're more than likely going to have to pay gas, and you're more likely going to have to pay electric, unless everything is electric. Okay, this is going to be a long video, so pay attention. Break it down, get some coffee, you know what I'm saying? Clean up while you're listening to it. But this is some valuable information that I'm giving to you men and women. So you get your utilities on, which means you have to call the electric company. You might have to pay a deposit. So you might have to pay at least, $100 to maybe $300 to get your electricity on, depending on your credit, because now electric companies, these utilities, they base your deposit on your credit. Okay? Once you've done that, okay, now you need furniture. Now, you may not be able to start with the most fanciest furniture. You might have to start with that air mattress. Or you might have to go to that used furniture store and get you some used furniture. But you better know that you have to furnish a living room, and you have to furnish bedrooms, at least 1 to 2 bedrooms, depending on, what your children are like, or what kind of children you want if you don't have any. Okay? Now, you have to furnish the kitchen. There's dishes. You need all that. All that costs money. Excuse me. So you have to have money in order to do all this. And this is what women are doing. So since we have to establish everything, we know what it takes to keep everything. And we don't have time for foolishness. We don't have time to just have some man come up in here and lay up on us and then want us to be submissive to him, and he ain't really offering nothing. Can't do that. So another thing to maintaining a home is that you have to have soap. You have to have soap powder. You have to have toothbrushes. You have to have you have to have towels. You have to have washcloths. You have to have bleach. You have to have cleaning supplies. And all that stuff, it runs out. You have to constantly buy that stuff. So maybe not every check, but maybe every other check, depending on how often you clean. You understand what I'm saying? There's food that has to be bought. And food, you can't buy food once a month. You have to buy food maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks. So it takes a continuous flow of money to do that. You got to replace saran wrap. You got to replace aluminum foil. You know, you got to replace your fruits and vegetables. You know, all that. All that. You know, I mean, there's a lot that goes into running a household. And if you do not have patience, stamina, and longevity, you will not be able to do it. So these are some of the things, if I was running the masculine part of the manosphere, these are some of the things I would be teaching. I wouldn't be teaching you how to hate a woman. I wouldn't be teaching you to blame a woman. I wouldn't be teaching you that you aren't a man because this woman won't listen to what you say. I wouldn't be that's hogwash. It's bullshit. You have to know how to lead, what it takes to lead in order to lead. You can't just come into some woman's home, or you can't just start going out here making babies and you don't even know what it takes to run a home. That's stupid. It's stupid. Come on now. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you might have some promiscuous women out there, but promiscuity has nothing to do with running a home. A woman can go out and sleep with as many men as she wants to. The fact of the matter is, and the goal is to make sure you have a roof over your head. So if you can fuck 20 niggas a day and still keep your rent paid, what the fuck does fucking 20 men have to do with anything? Your rent is paid and your house is taken care of. You can, if you want to, you can focus on sex all you want to. You can focus on how promiscuous a woman is. You can focus on how many men she had. You can focus on, you know, all that sexual nonsense. But when you come back to the cleaner side of life, the cleaner side of life involves running a household and taking care of some kids. And we're not even going to get into what it takes to take care of kids. That's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother story. So, like I said, these are some of the things I would be teaching if I was the leader of a section of the manosphere. Because as far as I'm concerned right now, y'all dealing with some hateful, evil, hateful men that don't want to see, that's blaming women for their own problems and mishaps and mischief and bad behavior. We didn't have nothing to do with that. We didn't even know you. Before we met you, we didn't know you. Before we met you, you were the way you were. You didn't have shit to do with us. Before you met your baby mama and got her pregnant, you were who you were. You had no high school diploma. You had no education. You had a low-paying job. You had bad behavior. You had a criminal record. It didn't have shit to do with your baby mama. So why are you taking it out on her? That didn't have nothing to do with the women in the street. Why are you taking it out on them? That's you. You were that when you left your mother's home. And then you didn't do anything to change that. So now you get out here in the real world. You start meeting women. You see that they have good education, they have good jobs, they have roof over their head, they maintain themselves well, and then you think that you qualify for the position that they're in when you haven't even built yourself to be in this woman's position. And then don't just look at yourself as an individual black man. Look at millions of you. So there are millions of you that are unprepared to run a household, but yet you want to allow a man to convince you that it's the woman's fault that you didn't take charge of your life from 18 and up. So you want to allow a man to convince you that the reason a woman is educated and working is because she wants to feel like a man, or because she wishes she was a man, or is it because the millions of men out there aren't prepared to run a household? So in order for her to eat, in order for her to have a roof over her head, in order for her to take care of the babies that this unprepared man left her with because he was unprepared, you want to listen to a man that's going to tell you that it's her fault that she has to get up and prepare herself to have a job? You want to listen to a man tell you that a woman that has to go to college and get an education so that she can be competitive in the good jobs, that she's a bad person? So you want to listen to a man tell you that a woman that got an education so that she can qualify for whatever job she wants, so that she can feed herself and put a roof over her head and keep decent clothes on her back and decent transportation to function out here in the world, that it's her fault because you didn't take charge of your life and get your education so that you could be competitive just like the rest of the men that are competitive in the world? And then, not only are you listening to this man, you're actually giving him money? Okay. You're giving him money to tell you that it's a woman's fault that you don't feel like a man. You're going to pay him to tell you that. So you're going to pay him to tell you that you should hate women, but you still shouldn't go get your education, but that you still shouldn't have respect that this woman has to get up and go get an education and get a good job. So you're going to pay him to talk to you and not tell you how to better yourself, while he sits behind his computer screen with his degree, his woman, the roof over his head, his education, his good job, and his hustle-hungry job on YouTube. You gonna pay him so that he can maintain himself, and you can still be out here running around here like a scraggly little man that doesn't know how to maintain a home? Okay, so that was just me. Like I said, if I was running the Manosphere, masculine part of the Manosphere, I would be encouraging you guys to get your education, think positive, do positive, and I would be giving you lists of resources and things that could, benefit you. I would probably get with the other leaders of the other sections of the Manosphere, and maybe we can put some of this money that y'all giving us together. And like I said in my other video, maybe create some shelter for you guys. Something. But anyway, that's just me. So. if you do not listen to these words and comprehend what is being said, more women will be meeting their end along with their children. Okay? Right now, like I said, the black man's mind is vulnerable and he's being swindled out of his money. And he's not benefiting, he's not learning, he's not growing. He's only digging a ditch for himself. So be scared. And this is not me being, kitten heels fearmonger. No, this shit is real. This is not, oh, if you women don't listen, you're gonna die within the next 5 years. No, you're dying every day. It's actively happening. So this is not me fearmongering. This is me realizing that whatever this manosphere is teaching these men and indoctrinating these men with, they are in the process. They are actively carrying these things out. And you need to be cautious and you need to be aware. So if I was you guys, if I was you ladies, I would get myself a ring and I would pretend like I was married, and I would start turning these men down. I mean, right now, in these times with this black manosphere, dick is not essential. This is B with the B code, and I'm out.